Namaskar, Abhishek, once again with a new episode in Unlocking Stars with Abhishek. This is a series on Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra. So, in the last episode, Maharshi Parashara has already concluded about the all 12 rasis. And then in the last verse of verse 24, the last line, he put his closing comment on the rasis. He said to his beloved student Maitre, now Maitre, hey Maitre, I have told you the Sukshma and the Sthul, the detailed, extensive knowledge about the rasis I have told you. So what he is going to do today? Because in this very chapter on the Rasi Swarupa Adhyay, he has dedicated a couple of verses. Verse number 25 to verse number 30 on a fascinating aspect, very mystical aspect of Vedic astrology. So we will go along with the Mahaguru and try to understand what Mahaguru is revealing there. And before going into that, we should understand the basic philosophical high-level overview of Indology. It is irrespective of all the 6 school of thoughts. All the school of thoughts believe in the immortality of the Atma. And if Hora Shastra is dealing with the predictions, this is the predictive science, then Maharshi is not want to restrict his beloved student to think about only after the time of the birth. So he will drag his student to think about how to do the Ashubh Kathan about the Jeev when the Jeev is in the Garbh. So from the time of the conception, at the time of the conceive, when Jeev conceived in the Garbh, in the womb of the mother, to the time of the birth, so that period is the subject today in this episode, when Maharshi will reveal it's a special type of Lagna. We call it Nishek Lagna or Garbhadhan Lagna or Adhana Lagna. So first going into the detail of this Lagna, usually we are going into the episode. Whenever we are going to follow the Mahaguru, we remember the Gurudev, Lord of the Lord. So this is time to remember him, and thereafter we will enter into the real discourse. Om Pasupatim Dhupatim Dharanipatim Bhujagalokpatim cha Satipatim Pranata Bhakta Jana Harti Haram Param Bhajat Re Manuja Girijapatim Bhajat Re Manuja Girijapatim Bhajat Re Manuja Girijapatim. Jai Gurudev, Har Har Mahadev. After taking permission from the Mahaguru, after taking permission of the Jagat Guru, we are going to enter into this mystical concept this very special concept of Vedic astrology. And the most important thing, when you think about the teaching style of Mahaguru, Maharshi Parasar, why Maharshi Parasar is coming into this Rashi Swarupa Adhyay with this Nishek Samay Gyan, Nishek Lagna, because this is his style. Always he is putting some driver and controlling the discussion, driving the discussion. So he will slowly go for the special type of lagnas and put some light, give some insight about the BPHS lagnas, special ascendants in the Jnana Adhyay. So he is fond of putting driver, he is fond of increasing, enhancing thrust in his student, and he is fond of Sanket Shastra. So this sort of flavor, his style, we can sense, we can smell everywhere, in every chapter, in the Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, which is the most fundamental scripture of Vedic astrology. So today he is coming with prenatal lagna. So prenatal lagna of the time of the conception of a jiva, of a person. And the tool he will provide, that will be the backward calculation. We used to do backward calculation. We are used to go in a flashback. So he will do backward calculation from the point of the Janma Kal, from the point of the birth, from the time of the birth. And from the time of the birth, he will go back. He will go back and check the prenatal lagna. So the input required is the time of the birth. Input required is the natal lagna. So if we know the natal lagna, the birth lagna, the birth samay, if we know, then Maharshi will give us a tool, and with the help of that tool, we can find out that Garbhadhan lagna, Adhana lagna, or Nishek lagna. Why Maharshi is doing this one? Why Maharshi is providing this sort of tool? Why Maharshi is revealing this concept? When we revisit chapter 2 in the Gita, verse 23, there is an indication about the immortality. Bhagavan is saying, Nayanam chindanti sastrani, nayanam dahati pavakaha, cha nayanam kalyasyantapona, so sayati marutaha. So what Bhagavan said about the Atma, about the self? Bhagavan said about the self, even any Shastra, any Bipan, Shastra, cannot cannot shred the soul, nor fire can burn it. Na dahanti pavakaha. Water cannot wet it, nor wind can dry it. That's the immortality. So Maharshi is just going back from the time of birth to the time of the conception. But when Maharshi will go back from the time of conception also, then we should not surprise. That's why I'm just putting this driver, because Maharshi will do this in the next couple of chapters. He might go in a Purva Janama, he might go in a Bhavishya Janama. At the moment, he's just coming like in that span. So what Maharshi is saying, we will go along. And the purpose is he is giving this tool so that one should do Subh and Asubh Kathan of that Jantu, of that Jeev in the Garv, in the womb, as well as Subh and Asubh Kathan of the parents about the longevity, about their well-being related to the birth of that child. I love to put this disclaimer. This divine science has high chances of being misused, and the black sheep in the profession, they might utilizing those verses, this jnana, and try to give them commercial advice. Go for surgery for birth of your child at this time, then you will get this lagna and your child will be greatest of the great. But Mahakal is the owner of the Kal, and this is the divine science. So this is not for playing in this manner. It's like a playing with a fire, and definitely that will come and bite back. And definitely if you can control one charge, then there are so many charges also. In some last episode, I have also provided, like, I'm totally against the commercialization of this divinity. Although now we are just going to enter into the real verse of the Mahaguru. What Mahaguru is saying, what Parashara is saying to the Maitre. Athataha samapravakshami srunus munipungavaha janmalagnam cha sansodhaya nisekam parisodhaye. So he is addressing Maitre as a Muni Pungava, Sreshth Muni. He is not like a ordinary Muni. He is a Sreshth Muni. Sometimes in some of the verses he is addressing him Dvijuttama. That's why in our commentary also we call him Maharshi also, Maitre. He is a student of, he is beloved student of Parashara, so he is nothing less than. So he is saying, Maharshi Parashara is saying, Hey Maitre, Hey Muni Pungava, Hey Sreshth Muni, now I will tell you how to get this Nisekam, this Nisek Lagna through Janma Lagna. The first union is called Adhana. And the second one is called Niseka, when the conception is completely stamped. We call it Adhana Niseka Lagna. So in the first verse, like in verse 25, he is just declaring what I'm going to tell you, Maitre. So I'm going to tell you about the Niseka Lagna, which can be derived from the Janma Lagna. Now he is coming down. Tadaham samprachami maitre tum vidharaye janma lagnat parigyanam naisekam sarva jantu yata. Now he is coming more close. We will keep this episode in two parts. I don't want to make this too long to break your concentration. So in this part, we will do the introduction. And in the second part, I will do the illustration. So in the two episode, you will be completely understand this concept. So in 26, he is saying, Hey Maitre, I'm telling you, through the Janma Lagna, you can get the Gyan of the Parigyanam Nisekam Sarva Jantu Yat. Us Sarva Jantu. That Jantu, that Jeev, which is in the womb, in the conceived, which is conceived. So you can know about that Jantu through Nisekam that can be arrived from the Janma Lagna. So the 25th is the Bhumika and the 26th is coming close. Now he is revealing the fact. Now he is going to reveal the fact, reveal the tool, technique he is giving. He is saying in 27th, Yasmin bhave sthitau mandas tasya mandeyar antaram Lagna bhagyantaram yojam yachrasayadi jayate. Now, the two grahas, one is main planet and one is aprakashit planet, is coming into the play. Sanidev, Saturn, and the son of Sanidev, Dev, Gulik, Mandi. There are a lot of difference of opinion between the acharyas about the time of the birth. Some of the acharyas having views when Jeev is coming just completely out of the womb, so that time is the time of the birth. Some of the acharyas are saying when you see the head of the Jatak, Jeev, just head, Sirsa Darsanam, that is the time of the birth. Some acharyas are saying when Jeev is cry, the first cry is the time of the birth. Some acharyas are saying when Jeev is taking first breath, then that is the time of the birth. So even time of the birth is in the question. And the whole Hora Shastra depend upon the time details, time of the birth. So you can understand how questionable it is. I am following Sunny Dev having the ownership on the pran, on the breath. So Sunny Dev is giving the life. He is the life giver also. He is the life taker also. So when the Jiva is taking first breath, so his lungs is not comfortable. First time he is taking the first breath, then she or he cry. So the first cry is related to the first breath. I am following this school of thought. And in this school of thought, the first breath is related to the time of the birth, which is governed by the Sunny Dev. So Sunny Dev is coming into the picture now, and son of the Sunny Dev is coming in the picture. So Maharshi is saying, you have to get the difference between the longitude of the Saturn and the Mandi and the Gulik, and get that difference. The difference of the houses Here when we are talking about, this is the Bhav Madhya, this is the cusp. So the difference between Sunny Dev and the Gulik. And then that difference, we got that difference. We have a Janma Lagna already, that input. From that Janma Lagna, we have the chart. From that chart, we know the position of Saturn and we know the position of the Gulik. And we got the difference of the longitude of Saturn and Gulik. And we are keeping that difference with us. As Maharshi gave us instruction, it's a Guru Ades. Now he is coming, he is saying, drilling down, Lagna bhagyantaram yocha yachrasi adi jayate. Now he is talking about the two difference. He is talking about the two difference. The difference of the Lagna and the difference of the Bhagyantaram. Bhagya. This is style of Maharshi. Maharshi is saying Bhagya means ninth, Navam Sthan. The cusp of the ninth and the cusp of the ascendant. Take that difference. So you got one difference already you have in your pocket. That is the difference of Saturn and Gulik. Now you have second difference. Now you have second difference of the ascendant and the ninth. And add to these two differences, just add them. Then you will get it. What you will get it? Yach Rasi Yadi Jayate. You will get the Rasi. You will get the Rasi, and you know Rasis are in 12 number. You know already. We have completed the Rasi Swarupadhyaya. Why Rasi is 12 number? We have already discussed the concept in previous, if you are following the thought. Because in the beginning, I told this is one Shastra, one thought is flowing from the chapter 1, verse 1 to the last chapter, to the last verse. So be in continued fashion. So there are 12 Rasis. Another concept is when Sun is going to one Rasi, there is 1 month. Other Rasi, second month, third month, we have 12 months. That's why in Surya Mandala Astakam, we have 12 verses. We are worshipping Sun with one verse in 1 month, and then second, and so on, so forth. So this Rasi, so you will get this Rasi, and then the sign and degree of the Rasi, that will give you the Mas and Din. That Mas and Din, that month and day, you got it. That is the Nishek, that is the Garvadhan, that is the Adhana. Period. And in this way, you got the Garvadhan Lagna, Nishek Lagna, Adhana Lagna. So this is the technique prescribed by the Mahaguru. But as you know, Mahaguru is always coming with the fascinating ideas and the technical terms. So in the next verse, he will come more close to the truth and drill down for us, reveal the more fascinating facts for us. So he is saying now, Masadi tanmitam geyam janmataha praka nisekajam. So that is the first line. Then very important technical terms Maharshi is revealing now. Yadya adrisyardalerang gesas indor bhukta agyuta. You have to understand this adrisya chakrarth. Adrisya, he is talking about the adrisya chakrarth and talking about the Indu bhukta. Indu means moon. He is talking about moon. Bhukt means longitude of the moon. He is something talking about longitude of the moon related to the Adrish Chakrarth. So we have to understand this concept. Otherwise, we will not reach nowhere. So in the previous verse, every time I'm referring to the previous verse, but you go through them, our astrology is based on the geocentric frame of reference. Observer is sitting on the earth and looking on the celestial. It's a completely scientific frame of reference. You are changing frame of reference. You can put your frame of reference anywhere. You can put on sun, you can put on Mars and observe. It's a relative theory of relativity is endorsing this. So Adrisya Chakra, Adrisya Chakrarth. So observer is on the earth. So from the ascendant, from this frame of reference, from the ascendant house, you have to see where is your ascendant lord, where is the Lagnes. If you can see the Lagnes or you cannot see the Lagnes, there are two cases. If you can see the Lagnes, it means your Lagnes is in the Drisya Chakrarth. And if you are not able to see the Lagnes, it means it is below the earth and invisible. When it is from the ascendant house, it is 1 to 6 house away. Aage, not piche, aage. Then it is in the Adrisya Chakrarth. It is invisible. You can't see it. From the geocentric frame of reference. Vice versa. If that Lagnes is in the 7 to 12, you counting from the Lagna, then that is in the Drisya Chakrarth. Then you can see the Lagnes. So Maharshi is saying, if Lagnes is in the Adrisya Chakrarth, now you know Adrisya Chakrarth, then moon longitude you have to add in the Rasi, what you got in the verse 27. In the verse 27, you got a product, you got a Rasi, then you have to add moon longitude in that. And then that is the product. And from there you can know the Nishek. From that you can know the Adhana. From that you can know the Adhana. And if Lagnes is in the Drisya Chakrarth, you have to do nothing. Very simple. He is providing concepts. If you immerse in it, what Mahaguru is saying. That's why I'm saying, come along, watch together. I'm also watching this great discussion with you. Now Maharshi is concluding. He has already provided, first he has provided why he is saying these things. Then he has provided the technique, and now he is concluding. So he is going in a very beautiful fashion always. Tatkale sadhane lagnam sodhayet purvatanukam. We have discussed. Tasmat subha subham vachyam garbhasyasya visestaha. So the jeev who is in the garbha, so through that Nishek Lagna, you can give the Subh and Asubh phala of the jeev. And he is going more. Not only about the jeev, he is adding in the last verse, Subha Subham Vadet Pitror Jivanam Maranam Tatha Evam Nishek Lagnena Samyaga Geyam Swakalpana. He is saying in this verse not only about the Garbhastha Jeev, even about the Pitror Jeevan. Pitror here, Mata Pita, both the parents. About the Jeevan of the Pitror and Maran of the Pitror. So life and death of the parents, Subh and Asubh of the parents can be known, can be predicted through this Nishek Lagan. Nishek Laganena Samyaga Gyeyam Kalpana. So we should apply this concept in the case of rarest of the rarest case, when it is really required, not for entertainment, not for commercial intention. So that's my habit to tell this one, but you understand my nature now, because this is episode number 33, and if you have watched the 33 episode, then I think you know me better. So this is Maharshi Parasar on Nishek Samay Gyan, Nishek Lagna. So this is the introduction on Nishek Lagna from me by Maharshi Parasar. In the next episode, we will go and try to understand this through a quick illustration, through a quick example, so that concept will be crystally cleared in your mind. In the end, I will pray for you and pray for everybody for the Purnata, for the completeness in your life through the Isavasya Upanishad mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamuchyate Purnasya Purnamadaye Purnamevavasisyate. Om Santi Santi Santi. Jai Gurudev. Har Har Mahadev. Har Har Mahadev.